Awesome. Okay. So I always say that when I start a Zoom. Awesome. I don't know why. So, Dominique, thank you for chatting today because I feel like this is a really important topic.
Mhm.
And so, a lot of my friends probably know Dom, and she's amazing. She's a pediatric emergency fellow, and she is just passionate about helping kids and families. And a hot topic right now is stress management
Mhm.
because 2020 has been just a wee bit stressful for some people.
Yes.
And when there was a commercial, I don't know what it was for when I was a kid, and the girl, the teenage girl, is saying to her friends, well, my dad's a dermatologist and he says, and everyone's like, what? Like, we want to know what the dermatologist says. So I kind of feel like that about you. I'm like, well, my friend's a pediatrician and she says, so I don't know why that popped in my head, but it makes me think about the fact that people probably would like to take advice from an expert, someone who is, seeing people every day
Mhm.
and that are, suffering from stress and the effects that it has on your immune system.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'll shut up in a second, but I would love to hear your insight, your tips. So first of all, have you seen a rise in kids and adults in, high stress, anxiety, all the things this year?
Absolutely. I think, you know, kids, adolescents, young adults, older adults. It's just this season has been hard on everybody. Kids aren't in school right now. They're dealing with the stress. They're seeing the news. Parents have had to adjust their schedules. And I think the stress is just heightened on all levels. Absolutely.
Okay. So those are kind of the probably typical reasons why. I know in my house it's hard because everybody's under one roof trying to
Mhm.
work cohesively and do school and do work and all the things. So I feel like myself, when I get stressed out, I can literally feel it, affecting my body and, just in every system, I feel like.
Yes.
So, what are the things we need to watch for and feel for and be mindful of that emotional, mental stress, the effects that this can have on our body?
I think for everybody that can be different. I know for myself, I'm more tired. I may be a little more cranky, maybe sleeping more. Um, just and sometimes I think it creeps up on you and you may not even realize it. But just if you feel like you're not wanting to be in your normal routine, if you're feeling just kind of some really negative energy, like you really can't find the positives in the day, very emotional, just kind of going through the day. I think it's important for everybody to have some type of self assessment that you can do. Sometimes it might be your friend saying, I noticed you weren't yourself or you weren't as cheery. And, those are important things to take in as well. But I think it's also important to have your own kind of self assessments if you can feel yourself kind of slip into a place that you don't like because of all the stress in life.
Okay, so what are the cues that we need to watch for those of us who have kids
Mhm.
to recognize when they need help to manage their stress?
I think communication is the biggest thing, just really talking with your kids. And I'm coming from a place, I don't have kids myself yet. So I will give that disclaimer. But I think just talking with your kids, really talking about their day, really opening up those lines of communication and just noticing those cues if they seem different, if they're not as cheery, if they're tearful, and just looking for those subtle cues. But I feel like communication is the biggest thing, just really asking about their day, asking how they feel, just opening that up and taking that time together as a family to communicate about the stresses of life and the stresses of this year are very important.
Okay, that's really good. And so, what are some physical effects that you can see in the immune system? Does it stress affect our immune system? What do you
I think
think?
it definitely can. Now, again, I will give another disclaimer. I'm not an immunologist, but just thinking about, when you have a constant, rev of the system as far as all those hormones and just being stressed and maybe not getting enough sleep, not feeding your body the right nutrients, I think all those things can definitely be detrimental to your immune system. I also think I will give this plug because I am a physician, to do the things you need to do, cleaning, don't have huge gatherings, wear your masks, things like that, to help, as well as kind of working with your stress level to do all the things you can for your immune system are important. But I think all those things definitely stress can absolutely have a negative effect on your body in all areas.
Okay. Well, it's just good to have a affirmation of that, I guess. So last thing, what are your top tips to, plan for the new year? Hopefully 2021 will be less stressful, but we don't know, right? So what can we do? Like, what are like the top 2 or 3 things that you think we can do to just prep ourselves for when the stress happens, how we're going to not let it affect our health and our relationships and all those other things?
I think in a year where there's been a lot of negative, I think it's so important to focus on the positive. I took one of your ideas and have my gratitude journal. And I think it's so important to focus on the positive things that are happening, because there are still some good things happening in our lives, even if in the midst of this year. I think taking time for yourself, self-care is so important. Reading your favorite book, you know, exercising, stretching, taking care of yourself, get a massage, those different things for your body. And just in ways that you can, surrounding yourself with the people that mean the most to you, even if you can't gather, Zoom, video calls, talking on the phone, just making sure you keep those connections and just really thinking about the things that really make you happy and trying to do those things. In this year where everything is so off kilter, just focusing on the things that help you are some good ways to help with your stress levels. Even watching your favorite show, different things like that, just making sure you're taking care of the whole self, your mind, your body, spiritually, faith. So, connecting in that way is important for me as well. But just really picking out the things that make you happy and help with your stress and trying to do those on a regular basis.
That's great. That's perfect. Thanks for the practical action steps. And I'm definitely going to put some of those into place. And thanks for chatting. And I hope that you have a happy, healthy new year. And I'm going to make my little list of things I'm going to do to manage the stress that I know is coming and make sure it doesn't get the best of me.
Yes.
Thanks, Dom.
You're welcome.